there, YouTube viewer, Facebook watcher, or I don't know what you're watching this through, to be honest. I'm Connor Anya. Welcome to potentially the first episode of Reviews to Go To, or as I like to call it, R2G2. We're reviews on the go. We've literally just left the movie theater. Driving the vehicle is Ryan Starfire. And in shotgun, Samuel McLennan. What are we reviewing this week, guys?
Independence Day, Resurgence.
I kind of totally hope like it was Independence Day as that movie was happening, so I could just leave the theater.
Oh my goodness!
So we're gonna try and give you. These are raw, uncut, unedited. Maybe not uncut, but as true first impressions as you can possibly get. I just threw out my popcorn. Our car is literally a sauna, so forgive the beads of sweat.
Yeah, I'm very sweaty right now.
But we're doing this for you guys because otherwise you probably wouldn't be able to hear us over the audio. I'm gonna go first. This movie's an absolute pile of crap.
What?
And that's the worst part. Like,
no, that can't be true.
Independence Day as a blockbuster came out in 99, 2000. Probably one of the best blockbusters.
No, it was literally 20 years ago.
20 years ago.
Okay, 96. So 96. Whoa, it's been even longer. That's the birth of my sister. That's weird. But I would say probably, one of the best blockbusters in defining what a blockbuster is. And I don't blame this movie for the fact that we've seen so many national monuments explode, because this movie, I would say, started it all. But the problem with this movie in general, for me, there's way too much CGI. Like, this was Michael Bay's Independence Day. Not even, like worse, would you say?
This movie makes Michael Bay look like Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah, like at least Michael Bay's like tries to do a story and it's just This one didn't even try for a story.
The thing that drove, like, I was so bored. Where a movie where everything is blowing up, it's in your face. They've literally been like, okay, sequels are bigger and better. No, this movie's just bigger.
This movie is just like Liam Hemsworth, where it's really bland and boring, and the one that came before it is way better.
So you're saying like Chris Hemsworth via Liam Hemsworth?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Like, does he just? I don't get why Liam Hemsworth is in movies. Okay, he's a good-looking guy, sure, but does he ever add anything to a movie besides just being the standard white guy?
I thought his sidekick, the guy who was like had the hots for the Asian woman, was more interesting, because at least he had like a purpose. All we got from this guy was like, I wanted to be the leader of the Legacy
Oh my
Squad.
god, this movie was such a wet fart. Like, it was just a disappointment. Yeah, no, I had no fun watching this.
It's not even a good tease.
I checked the time like multiple times. I was just like, please, is this almost over? Ryan's talking to people outside the car.
Bringing everyone else into this movie too. They're on camera too.
Man.
This movie was absolute garbage. Probably the worst of the year so far.
None of us saw Gods of Egypt. Was that a 2016?
Oh, I saw Gods of Egypt.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay, which one's better?
I enjoyed Gods of Egypt more.
Oh, man.
Like, what was happening? I don't understand. Like, I think
There's a queen.
Roland Emmerich was just like, well, let's make things bigger and better and more explosions. And that's exactly what we got.
Yeah.
But it adds up to literally nothing. Like, it's strange how I cared very little about the millions of people that were dying on screen.
Well, it's because it just goes on, and that's the problem. Like, you can have a big spectacle explosion, and that can be like Roland Emmerich. He's done it well before. I liked 2012 more than I like this. I liked, is he Olympus or White House Down? Is he Olympus? No.
He was White House Down.
He was White House Down. I like that better. Like, I think we've just grown numb to, like, the whole destruction for the sake of destruction. And, like, I'm sorry, but just saying that Will Smith died in a test flight for a plane?
There's no way.
Like, it's Will Smith! Like, welcome to Mother Earth. Like, what is going on?
Okay, Ryan, please. Is there anything in the movie that's
redeemable?
Yeah.
Like, if you look at the, I guess, improvement of CGI effects or just effects in movies in general, this one at least felt like all their budget went into just making these spaceships and like stuff looked cool. Like I think
The production design was good.
yeah, the production, like that's literally all they focused on because it just felt like they were just having good ideas with what they're gonna blow up or how big these spaceships are gonna go. Because they did look cool, but not at all did they serve any part of the story. Like the story itself just didn't do anything. It was literally just bits of cool things that were happening. Like when London was blowing up, I didn't think there was any point to that, but it might have been the coolest destruction scene of a city I've ever seen in a movie.
Honestly, to be like 100% honest, I preferred London and Europe exploding better in G.I. Joe Retaliation.
Wow.
Like,
Okay.
I don't even remember
Yeah, I don't
that.
remember
So
that
it's
at all.
like
it's like a nanobot explosion.
this makes this way more forgettable than.
But like just making a giant ship blow thing like the trouble. I'm not speaking words right now. That's how frustrated I am by this movie. Like it's just a big mess. Like I felt like I was watching a Transformer scene in like Age of Extinction where the robot, like you have no idea, it's so incoherent, you don't understand what's going on, except that went on for 2 hours. This movie literally ends in the middle of a sentence. He's like, we're going to space, and credits. And I was like, that's where you're at. Like clearly they want to do, because they want to do what, ID4 Resurgence Part 1 and 2, right? I'm not crazy. I'm pretty sure I heard that.
Please, I hope not. Like, I don't think this franchise should go any further.
Or if
let's
Will
just
Smith's-
call it. Let's just call it. You know, we tried. I think let's just stick with the first one. Pretend like this one doesn't exist. Let's do one of those situations.
But-
Yeah,
like-
like let's get a collective boycott of this movie and just not go to the theater so it's gone next week.
Can we
never
fan
happened.
force? Let's fan force stick this movie,
Yeah.
guys. We can do it. We've done it before.
It really
I'm
is
putting
this-
the faith in you, viewers,
this
to
year's
not
fan
go
force
see this
stick.
movie.
Yeah, it's bad.
But like they try to recreate the Randy Quaid "Hot Boys, I'm Back" scene almost with the president, and it doesn't even work. They're like, oh guys, force field. Let's have 20 minutes of this giant CG.
Right.
Yeah, like I think overall the aliens themselves, they just kind of gave up and they're like, we're just gonna make a PG movie of the literal Ridley Scott Alien franchise because they're just like, we're just gonna cliche them again and make them all a hive. So there's just gonna be a queen one that we didn't know about last time, but this time we know about them, right? I don't know how yet, but it was just a theory that actually panned out.
They're like, maybe there's the hot spot. That's got to be a queen, guys.
Yeah, so there's the queen.
They're like
and then-
bees. Come on.
Yeah, and they're just kind of like, oh, they even sort of look the same now. They're just really skinny bodies with like a weird sort of head. And like, we're just gonna go with that. And like, we're just gonna make it really cliche. And let's stop putting effort into this story because there's no point to it. Let's just literally make it a CGI fest. And like, this is like just a summary. It's like bees. And yeah, we're figuring out, oh, okay, there's a bit of hiccup. There's a little bit of action. And then there's like, shit, there's more action. And then we're just like, okay, here's the big finale. Okay, oh, the car's straight. Okay,
And
We're good.
Vivica Fox is there for 5 minutes and then dies.
yeah, that was ridiculous.
It was just like, I wanted to go into this and thoroughly just and to have a good time. I got a big old bag of popcorn, and I was like, the Goldblum is back. He's a silver fox now, and it was just a dud.
I think
It's like getting turned down at prom night.
even he had like a rough go with I think his acting because they didn't give him any funny parts.
They give nothing. They tried to do these one-liners that were just.
Yeah, like everyone was just getting like one-liners thrown at them that all sucked.
And they
like,
all
I
just
don't like
drop to
flying.
the ground
Yeah, they're just
immediately.
like, that
It's
wasn't
like
fun.
throwing a paper airplane that doesn't fly.
I did like Charlotte Gainsbourg, who was the older scientist that was
Right.
acting opposite, because she
Yeah.
actually felt like she was the only one acting in this movie and it actually looked good. And I think that also helps that I've seen her a lot in Lars von Trier movies, and usually her body's getting mutilated at some point, so
And that's true.
it was kind of nice to
That's a
see
good
her, like-
change for her.
Yeah, it was nice seeing her in an acting role and like she actually performed when no one else did.
Okay, so to sum it up, boys,
Watch
Don't-
this drunk.
don't watch
at
this
home.
movie at all,
Don't
or
watch
watch
this movie.
drunk.
I would say this is if we're slowly creating our own rating scale. This is a getting drunk at home, making fun of kind of movie.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
In a universe where The Room exists, Room 10 times out of 10 over this one.
And if you haven't seen The Room, do yourself a favor
Yeah,
and
man.
go get drunk with your friends and watch The Room.
It's literally a masterpiece.
Yeah, okay, basically,
Have a safe ride home then.
our summary is don't watch this movie, go watch The Room.
Yeah, go watch The Room or watch the first one. The first one's actually like kind of new and original.
Watch the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should just get rid of this movie and just
Yeah.
I
re-play
would
the
have
first one in
totally
theaters.
paid to go see
Yeah.
the new one on the big screen.
Yeah, like accidentally the old one plays and
Yeah.
everyone just kind of accepts it because it was a better movie. So that will wrap it up, I think.
Yeah.
That's our overall review, as I believe. Definitely So check us out on Facebook, give us a like. It's reviews to go to. The twos are actually twos. And again, if we mentioned it earlier, if you want like a more in-depth review, if you want us to talk about a few other things, like we cover Game of Thrones, we cover a lot of like news topics, movie trailers, that sort of thing. It's a podcast. You got to go to iTunes. You got to go to Podcast Garden. It's called the Galaxy Quest Podcast. If you take a look for it, there will be links below this video. You can get to them that way too. But check us out there. And again, like us or give us the thumbs up on YouTube, I guess, is the main thing. Get our word out there. Share us. We'll be on Facebook as well. But you know, mainly let's get this going. We'll bring you more reviews as they come week to week. I believe next week we're having a Legends of Tarzan, or is it just Legend of Tarzan, I believe, but that should be the review coming next week for you. And we're just hoping to keep them nice and simple and quick like this as we arrive home. And hopefully we have a better review coming for you next week, because this one was a bit rough. Like, as sweaty as I am right now.
I'm so sweaty.
Yeah, like, as awful as we look, that's as awful as that movie was. So don't go see that movie, guys. We're sorry you had to see it. But thanks for tuning in. I guess we'll see you next week.
Rock and roll.